Let's look at the next topic, which is modifiers, and the main errors in this are misplaced and dangling modifiers. Before we proceed forward, let's have a look at what is a modifier. The very basic modifier is something that modifies something. It's a word, phrase, or clause that describes or changes the meaning of another word, phrase, or clause in some way or another. So the very basic modifier that comes to the mind first is an adjective, which modifies a noun or a pronoun. Another variant is an adverb, which modifies everything else that that an adjective does not modify. So to say a verb, an adjective, or an adverb itself is modified by an adverb. Now, a misplaced modifier means that there is a separation of space between the word, phrase, or clause and the modifier. As a general rule, a modifier should touch what it is going to modify. What happens when a modifier is misplaced? There is a compromise in the meaningfulness, and there is either the meaning gets ambiguous or it gets incorrect all the way. Let's look at these for the meaning part. On her way to work, Elaine saw the silver woman's earring, laying on the park bench. Now, the problem here is whether the woman is silver or the earring is silver. The first sentence does not make any sense. So to correct it, on her way to work, Elaine saw the woman's silver earring laying on the park bench. Now it's very clear that what is silver, the woman or the earring. Now most of the errors regarding the modifiers happen during the adverbs. Placement of adverbs, mostly the adverbs end in ly, are commendably and amicably, all those are adverbs. They can change the meaning if they are not used correctly. They can change meanings to funny things, or rather incorrect things. Look at this example. We drove off in the car we had just bought quickly. This is ambiguous because it does not indicate whether we drove off quickly or we bought the car quickly. Now the correct formation is we quickly drove off in the car we had just bought. So this makes sense. It just says what was done quickly was the driving off in the car and not the buying off of the car. Coming to the next one, we have the stolen man's wallet. The stolen man's wallet was placed on the police department's counter. Now, who was stolen, the man or the wallet? The sentence just doesn't sum it up. The correct formation, the man's stolen wallet. It makes clear sense that the wallet was the stolen entity. The words which trouble the most, that indicate the number. Look at this example. Almost and nearly mean close to. The nouns can be counted. For instance, the verbs, they cannot be counted. So these words should be next to the noun. Look at this one. He nearly swam for an hour. Now this just does not make any sense, because it is ambiguous in a way that Did he nearly swim, or did he swim nearly for an hour? How can somebody nearly swim? Is he in the water or is he on a dry land? That's the whole thing about it. He swam for nearly an hour is a correct construct, because that tells us that he approximately swam for an hour. It almost cost me pounds dollars 800 for my car insurance. Now, do you have any car insurance? If it almost cost you, did you actually get the policy, or did you find a cheaper one someplace else? And if we rephrase it, it cost me almost $8,000 for my car insurance. That completely makes sense, that it was the car insurance which cost $800. The next one is merely and only. Here's an example. Joy only gave his mother $50 towards the rent. So Joy was the only one who gave anything. That's where the ambiguity comes. Look at the next variant. Joy gave his mother only $50 toward the rent. And now this makes more sense, which emphasizes that he only gave $50 and not more. Coming to the example of just, the word just, when you place it in different places, can change your meaning completely, because it modifies things everywhere. Just Ivan was rushed to the hospital from the accident scene to treat his wounds on his neck. So it means to say Ivan was the only one injured in the accident. Just Ivan was rushed, so nobody else was rushed. And look at this one. Ivan was just rushed to the hospital from the accident scene to treat his wounds on his neck. So what this means is that Ivan just reached the hospital, his ambulance just got there. Ivan was rushed to the hospital from the accident scene to treat just his wounds on the neck. So that means he may have had other injuries, but he was rushed to the hospital just for the wounds, just to cure the wounds on his neck. The next one is a drill, and let's have a look at it. I nearly made $100 today. You have to look at it and see how this is. Let's have a look at these incorrect sentences in a way that the modifiers are incorrect, and that is rendering them ambiguous, to say the least. The first example, I nearly made $100 today. What are we trying to say here? Are we trying to say that we almost made $100 today, or we approximately made $100 today? Let's look at the next one. When we opened the leather woman's purse, we found the missing keys. What is made of leather, the woman or the purse? The job scarcely took an hour to complete. It seems as if the job itself took an hour to complete itself, which is ambiguous. I only have 5 minutes to talk with you. That means nobody else has 5 minutes or more to talk with you. The striking Honda's paint job made everyone gasp. What is striking, the Honda or the paint job? And the correct answers are, I made nearly $100 today, which means approximately $100. The woman's leather purse, so now leather is correctly modifying the purse. The job took scarcely an hour to complete, so it took scarcely an hour. I have only 5 minutes. So that means I have only 5 minutes. It's not that I'm the only one with 5 minutes to talk to you. Now striking comes next to paint job, and that's what is striking, not the Honda. Sometimes prepositional phrases can also cause problems when they are used to modify things. Look at this example. Christine made the brownies for her aunt with chocolate icing. With chocolate icing is a prepositional phrase, but who is it modifying? Is it modifying the brownies or the aunt? What is a woman doing running around covered in chocolate icing? That's how the previous sentence feels like, that it's the aunt with chocolate icing. Correct formation would be Christine made brownies with chocolate icing. So the brownies are getting modified with chocolate icing, and that's these she made for her aunt. The verbals are the verb forms that end in ing form, and they are followed by the word, they follow the word to. So to is before them. Look at this example. Leila and Rachel talked about dancing in the kitchen making grilled tuna. So it seems like the kitchen is making grilled tuna. The formation is next one, Leila and Rachel making grilled tuna walked about dancing in the kitchen. So this is the correct formation. Drew and Alex drew pictures for mom to show. So is it the mom who's showing the pictures, or are they going to show the pictures to the mom? Next sentence is the correct one. Drew and Alex drew pictures to show to mom. Sometimes there are clumsy clauses. Look at these ones. The basic rule is that the clauses should correctly modify the noun. The mechanic drove out the car to Joe that was lubricated. Who was lubricated? In the first sentence it seems like Joe was lubricated. The mechanic drove out the car that was lubricated to Joe. Now this is correct because the clause that was lubricated is correctly modifying the car and not Joe.